YouTube, Turtleags here, bringing you another AFK journey video. And chat, you guys can say hi to YouTube, hi to your mom, your future self, anyone if you'd like. And basically, what I want to talk about is the end game. And I'm talking about endgame because a lot of my viewers right now have already finished AFK stage 1125 or are getting close to it, or maybe have some new players who realize that they're in a position where they can probably, ask for people who have gone to the end game already, like myself, to figure out how to curate their wish list in order to optimize their resources as well as their progression. Eat your broccoli, exactly. Yeah, so today I'm going to talk about endgame. Now, I was debating whether to lay it down easy or just be like really direct about what I feel is best for your account progression. So, I think it is in everyone's best interest if I'm brutally honest and just flat out tell you guys what the best teams are. So, first of all, we have to define what is endgame. I would consider part of endgame is unlocking the entire map, including Remnant Peaks 8, which you reach by hitting, I think, Resonance 210. At least it was for me back then, but they may have lowered the bar to like 205 or something. Basically, once you have reached Resonance 205 or 210, as well as cleared the AFK stages 125, which would be here. This is the final stage. Then you have access to Trial of the Abyss, which is basically the end game content that requires you to really think about your team composition. You're at mid game, for example, also hanging in here. 2 Mythic Pluses, Rezo 140. Nice. Missed a Plague. Oh, 201. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Plague. So 201, Resonance 201 as well as AFK stage 1125 is how you unlock Trial of the Abyss. Now, when I think of endgame, I'm thinking about like what content should I really be pushing in order to really accelerate the progression of my account. And I would say that clearing the first 300 floors of Trial of the Abyss is going to be very beneficial. I've already done it, so I can't show you, but essentially you get, like, you see how I have these red essences that I get from clearing these floors? Well, in the first 300 stages, it's actually even more generous. Every stage you clear will give you 100 purple dust, and every 5 or 10 stages will give you orange essences. It's not a lot. They'll probably give you like 3 orange essences, but you do need like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 of orange essences to go from weapon level 5 through 10. And EX weapon level 10 is kind of the sweet spot for most, if not all, characters. And the purple dust will definitely help accelerate your resonance level. Once you hit Rezo 240, you will unlock something called Resonance Synergy, where you can exchange books for purple dust, as you can see here. And with the purple dust, once I have accumulated enough, I can raise the resonance level of my entire crew, which is quite nice. And other forms of endgame, I would say, would certainly be arena. You want to try to be in top 5 if you can. It's really monka sometimes because sometimes enemies will try to attack you, but if you plan early and secure the units you need to build an end game team, you can actually win defenses. As you can see here, there were people who used to farm me all the time, like Alucard, or let's say like Hermit, who haven't attacked me as much recently because, and even Lyco D doesn't attack me as much anymore because, as you can see here with Hermit, he attacked me 3 times, lost a match, so you're almost better off farming like the weaker players. So certainly, when you're top 5, that's where you want to be, because then you earn like the juicy rewards, notably the arena coins, which allow you to buy the stargazes as well as the red essences. Now, speaking of stargazes, in order to unlock the 5 stargaze summons per week in the guilds, in the arena store, like down here, you need to enter the Champions League. which, as you can see here, this is the champion store. In order to enter the Champions League, you do need to be top 200 in the arena. And so this is why arena is very important, because stargazes allow you to summon the hypogen celestial characters, as most, if not all of you already know. Now, in order to unlock the Stargaze Station, you do need to do 400 summons, which is why I always tell people that unless you're a dolphin or whale, I do recommend just skipping the event characters and go straight towards all hero recruitment, where you can curate your wish list. And just, once you get 400 summons, you'll unlock the Stargaze Station and you'll be able to start summoning for some of the hypogen and celestials. Yeah, so in addition to arena, there's also, finding a very endgame guild is quite important. Now, you got to be kind of, some high level guilds, they have a minimum level requirement, like maybe, or minimum strength requirement. Like, for instance, the top guild Shadows has a requirement where in order to join them, you need to have like minimum 9.5 mil power, as an example. However, there are other guilds like, say, Mines or the Abysses, where, we do obviously prioritize people with higher strength. However, if you are an active player, you do the drill runs every day, you're one of the first to attack in the drill runs to clear the earlier stages, as well as doing your dailies and everything, just being active, that's more valuable than, say, like a whale who, just to give you an example, I think there is a whale who's been offline for more than a day. So a whale who's offline for more than a day is not as valuable as someone who's an active everyday free to play. So I just want to emphasize that. Endgame doesn't mean you have to be a whale, you just have to be very active. And I mentioned guilds because when you look for a high-end guild, preferably a guild that's like level 4 or higher, for every additional level that the guild has, you get an additional 1,000 guild points per week. So, when we accumulate our points here, let me see if I can find it. Does anyone know how to check your guild points? I'm trying to remember. It was quests? No. Okay, well, there's a way to check your guild points, and you can get 7,000 per week. Oh, quest? Oh, thank you. Quest. Oh, guild quests. Thank you so much. Thank you, Zane. So here, as you can see, the weekly limit is 7,000. So when you are in a max level guild like Mines, where it's level 6, you can get 7,000 of these precious guild medals every week just for participating and being active in that guild. And as many of you know, when you go to the guild store, you need 30,000 of these guild points in order to purchase one of these precious hypogen or celestials of your choice. And so if you are in a high-end guild and you're participating every day, you're going to get 28,000 guild points per month just by being active in that guild. And at the end, I'll go ahead and show you, I did save a photo. At the end of each week, you are able to collect guild chests. And as you can see here, each week, like this past week, I gained 1,974 guild points. That right there gets you to the 30k that you need to guarantee one celestial or hypogen per month. And then if you're active then and you're collecting the chests each week, then you're probably going to get about you'll have a surplus of an extra 6,000 per month. And this does not include at all the glory expeditions, which are one-time bursts of guild points that you get from, here I'll show you, from completing these challenges. And so if you're in an active guild, when you enter, as a group, when 10 or more people have met certain criteria, such as completing chapter 1, 2, 3, defeating bosses of certain difficulties, etc., you get a generous like 1,400, 1,500 guild points, guild medals. So it's very nice. So it really incentivizes you to be in an active guild, but to be in an active guild, you have to be active and kind of demonstrate that, you have progressed far. Because the thing is that someone who pushes high AFK stages and who does, arena every day, dream realm every day, does the honor duel every week, right? Honor duel to collect, all of these rewards here, and then also, clearing out the trials here to get the purple dust, to get the resonance level higher, to progress into the next map faster. Or let's say, the arcane labyrinth to get more epic letters in order to summon your characters. Or let's say, what else? What I'm trying to say is that you in the end game, you basically want to do all the modes, take advantage of all the weeklies, the dailies, and I want to take a moment now to talk about endgame teams. So just kind of starting off with the Dream Realm here. Typically, most Dream Realm bosses, because they're all chunky dudes, so they pretty much require very similar teams. Now, there's going to be certain Dream Realm bosses, such as the Necro Dragon, where maybe someone like Merrily or Corin will be better than an Odie and a Kruger. Sorry, I'm just looking for my power plug. But anyways, so here as an example, I do recommend having a Smokey built because he's the best offensive healer for any Dream Realm boss. I do recommend having your Merrily built for the true damage DPS. You also have Corin built for the true damage DPS / shielding. You have your Rainier Mythic Plus to get the 25% damage increase taken by the enemy. And then other noteworthy mentions would be someone like Coco, making sure that she's at least Mythic Plus, if not Supreme Plus, in order to provide your team the maximum number of survivability to eke out every last point in the Dream Realm. And the reason why you care so much about Dream Realm is because the Dream Realm is where, every day, depending on your placement, you get dream points that allow you to get your A rank heroes, which is very important, especially if you're trying to round out your Mauler team to push endgame content. These dream fragments are going to be very useful. And then also the title essences, these are very important to get your EX weapons from level 1 to 5, as well as getting your hero focus to level 3. And then, of course, the temporal essences, which are very limited. This is actually one of the main reasons you do the Dream Realm and achieve high score, because the higher ranked you are, the more temporal fragments you get. Now, you don't get a whole lot. You only get 2 temporal fragments per day if you're ranked between 21 to 50, which I think most people will be if they're pushing Dream Realm. So yeah, you definitely at least want to be probably top 100 or top 50 in order to accumulate over time a nice stash of temporal essences. Yeah, so in terms of, and I also mentioned Odie, right? You want to build Odie. Let me think if there's anyone else you want to build. So like Odie is very good to build. Let's see. Tamesia is very good to build because against the Necro Dragon, where he shoots the puddle that drains your haste as well as deals damage to your party, having mobile units such as Tamesia, Corin, and Merrily will really help. And then, of course, Odie is the GOAT. You should build him as well. So just purely talking about endgame here. think those. Oh, and you know, having a high leveled enough Kruger for him to last until the end of the fight is worthwhile. I know some people say don't build him because you really just need him for the physical defense shred, but I think that if you're serious about pushing very high Dream Realm scores, you really need to make it so that there's no weak link. There shouldn't be anyone dying too early. You want all 5 units to survive until the end and to contribute a good amount of damage. And Kruger is actually not a bad damage dealer, maybe doing comparable damage to that of Thorin if you have him invested like everyone else. So don't slack on your Kruger. And I think that, oh, and I guess honorable mentions would be like Cassidy, because Cassidy, a lot of people are realizing that is that she has amazing synergy with units that have very high attack speed, such as Odie, such as Merrily, such as Corrin, because Cassidy, what she does is she blesses one unit at the start of the battle in order to make it so that every time they deal X number of normal attacks, an undercurrent comes up from underneath the enemies. And when Cassidy casts her ult, she actually applies this blessing to your entire party for a certain amount of time. So for this reason, Cassidy is actually very good. You do want to get her EX weapon level 10 at some point. This is like, you know, after you have the other characters built, like I mentioned. Other honorable mentions would be Shakir. Shakir actually does decent damage. It's not crazy. It's not going to be as good as Odie or, you know, Merrily, but it's still decent because if I can find him, the nice thing about Shakir is that he only needs to cast his ultimate once. So when you're going against an enemy that basically makes it so you can't cast your ultimate as quickly, Shakir is going to be great because he just needs to ult once to get into wolf mode, and then his energy requirement to get his attacks off diminishes significantly. Yes, so he's also very good in the bosses. So yeah, I just wanted to emphasize the Dream Realm boss. And then in terms of pushing AFK stages, so let's say you're trying to get to the end game. Let's say you're almost at the end game. So how do you get through like stages, say 900 through 1125? Well, as many of you know, when you unlock stage 700 or something, you will unlock double battles where you need to form a party on one side and a party on another side with unique spells, unique characters, and unique spells, which means you have to have 10 viable teammates that work together well in 2 different teams, as well as 2 different spells that you have built. So I would recommend for people who are looking to curate their wish lists in order to build 2 teams, I would say the 2 optimal teams that will save you the most time will be, if I can find, so let's see, we got Carolina. So basically you got the Aaron, Thorin, Damien, Carolina, Arden. So this will be team 1, and then team 2 is going to be Brutus, Entendre, Smokey, Coco, and Odie. So this was the 5 Mauler team that I was talking about. This will be side 2. Now back in the day when I was doing pushing AFK stages, I didn't have my Mauler team built at all, so I probably got stuck for way more days than I should have. I think that if I was to go back in time and do it again, if I had invested in Brutus earlier, invested in Entendre a bit more, I think I would have cleared Trial of the Abyss and my AFK stages a lot faster. So anyways, I just mentioned both of these teams just to save you time. But anyways, I'm just going to, and when you reach Trial of the Abyss stage 301 and higher, you're actually going to need to make a modification to your Aaron team. It'll actually be Granny, Rowan, Scarlita, Aaron, and Arden. And the reason why this team works is because you still have the magic defense shredding core, crowd controlling core in Aaron and Damien. But what ends up happening is that when you reach stage 301 and higher, the enemies are resonance level 425, and most of you guys will be around like resonance level 250, 260, maybe 270 at some point, and really struggling to survive the first 5 to 10 seconds of the match. So this is where having a tanky, having a group of units that can really turtle it up, such as Granny and Rowan combined. Rowan provides energy to everyone, including Granny, to get Granny's ultimate up faster, in order to lock down the enemies, crowd control them in the whatever is in front of her, and then protect Rowan quite well. You have Scarlita, who is a perfect combination of offense and defense, because Scarlita, she stuns the enemies, she shields your weaker allies. At Supreme Plus, she shields and gives half of her physical and magic defense to that ally, and multiple allies actually. Now when she slams down, she stuns all enemies caught within that crash for about 4 seconds. She'll whack them to the back, and then once they go below, like say 15 HP percent HP or like 20% HP, then she'll knock them out of the map. We call that execution. And so Scarlita is very, very good. And then Aaron, Arden, of course, as you know, Aaron grouping everyone together, doing the 55% magic defense shred, Arden doing the crowd control, entangling roots all 5 enemies when he has EX weapon level 5, and doing tons and tons of damage. So this is the team that I run right now. I think that might be about it in terms of endgame content that I wanted to talk about. And maybe I can give you kind of a preview of what endgame content looks like here. So this is the Trial of the Abyss. Just to kind of put this in perspective, we currently only have, well, it increases every day. We now have 68 players who have entered the Trial of the Abyss. Yes, and this is on server 25, so 68 people out of the however 100k, multiple 100ks, or however many people are in the server. It's a very small percentage. And to kind of show you here, so this is floor number 334. I'm stuck on here right now, and the problem I'm running into is that I always lose. Aaron always dies, and then and then everything falls apart. So let's see if this works now. Yeah, so you group them together. Oh, so I got to restart right away because my Rowan died already. Oh, actually, I did the formation wrong, so let's do that again. So usually my Aaron dies about now, but I might have leveled up enough resonance levels to where I can keep everyone alive. Rowan's probably going to... Oh, Scarlita shielded him just in time, but he still died. Yeah, I think that took way too long. Yeah, Scarlita died and then Aaron died, yeah. And this is actually the optimal team to bring on the stage, because what you can do is you click on the scroll and then you click records, and then you see what other teams, people brought to defeat enemies. Here, they ran Scarlita, Granny, Aaron, Rowan, Arden, and then same thing here, and same thing here, same formation, confining spell, everything. So, all right. Yeah, so that's about it. I don't want this video to be too long. Oops. So anyways, I hope you found that helpful. If you want me to take a look at your teams or your wish lists, you can, follow me on Twitch. Actually, I do live stream every day on twitch.tv/turtleags, and I'll see you in the next YouTube video. Take care, guys. Okay, done with that recording. So it's 59.